at your swing. We're going to go ahead and let you look at this in fast motion here. And as you've been talking about, you've been hitting a lot of fat shots with your wedges in particular. So we know the first thing that we need to take a closer look at is in your posture. There's no question sometimes you get a little far from the ball and you really get in that squatty position as we talked about. And one of the things that I noticed in your video is that you actually get in a position where you get this S posture with your kind of right at the base of the spine here, right by your tailbone. This kind of curves inward, and we got to be careful with that because you express some tightness in that lower back. And what happens when you start to get into this S posture, that just means your rear end is too far out in the setup, and you've got too much knee flex. The other thing that I notice here, we'd like to see the hands, if I was to draw a line, your hands are hanging more underneath your chin, and I'd like to see them hang underneath your shoulders a little bit more, or underneath your sternum in your setup position. When you make the changes to your setup, you're either hitting way behind the ball or thin, and when you get into a taller position, that's going to allow you to swing down into the ball more freely. We noticed immediate results for you as far as your contact was concerned. We're going to take it up to the top. Everything looks pretty good right here. As you start to come down, you naturally kind of dip into it, and then you work your body up and out of your spine angle. When you have too much knee flex, this is very typical right here that we see too much weight on your right side, and your body's not necessarily flowing through the ball. So as you approach impact, what happens is your lower body stops rotating, and then you just use nothing but your hands and your arms. So you kind of lose a little bit of that connection that we've talked about in the past. So the big thing for you is just work on your posture right now, and you'll get immediate results, especially with those short irons. And when you stand a little bit taller, you get rid of this little S posture here, then excuse me, you're going to be able to swing more freely through the golf ball. So look forward to seeing you next week on the lesson tee, and good job. Just remember to stand a little bit taller, try to stay a little bit more relaxed in the lower back area there, and just make sure you don't get your rear end out too far. All right, see you next week, and good job.